You are welcome to another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. On 29 June of 2022, R. Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bonjean announced plans to appeal the New York 30-year exorbitant sentence that was issued by Judge Ann Donnelly, along with several other elements of the indictment such as the wrongly concluded RICO charges that are responsible for this disturbingly unproportional sentence. Right after the Chicago trial, which displayed many more irregularities, the smart and experienced attorney, who is also renowned for lodging successful appeals, expressed her dissatisfaction with Judge Harry Leinenweber's ruling and pledged to appeal this case as well. Efforts to get the appeal going have been underway now for many months, but the government has done a good job in delaying this event, asking for repeated extensions that have seen R. Kelly wait even much longer than he should in his undeserved federal custody. Giving all kinds of lame excuses, the appeal process has so far been delayed by a whole year in the government's favor. It's therefore very shocking to learn that the same government again recently requested yet another extension, making their total number of postponements 4 and way above the acceptable standard of 3. The granting of this additional extension therefore is an act of corruption, and could in a way be a sign of defeat. Clearly, the government knows that it doesn't have leverage when it comes to this appeal process, considering they did so many things wrong when they preferred to nourish their hunger to lock up R. Kelly over guiding the New York court towards the real truth to serve justice to the parties involved. By now we all should know the mistakes made by government, which whether they like it or not are going to cost them a great deal in the coming appeal process. The acts of witness tampering involving the leaking of Bureau of Prisons emails and phone call records linked to R. Kelly to Azriel Clary and the general public by blogger Tasha K cannot go unaddressed. The government must answer to the appeal court how this was done, and the trial judge Ann Donnelly may have to explain how she managed to allow this act of legal malpractice. It's strange how this legal mistake could have passed right under her nose to see her ignore it and make such a wrongful conviction against the R&B King. It will also be highly questionable how the New York judge together with her jury of 12 managed to find R. Kelly guilty for RICO violation without providing proof that he indeed operated an illegal enterprise, whose purpose was committing crimes against these women that were used against him. We all know there is no one-man RICO, but Judge Ann Donnelly wants us to believe when R. Kelly is the defendant this becomes possible. The government failed to prove an enterprise, and even the New York judge did concede when she said they needed not prove it. We also demand an explanation as to why obviously prejudicial jurors such as those who were brave enough to confess to this were allowed on the panel. From the trial transcript we learn that some jurors were open enough to promise prejudice against R. Kelly but were still admitted to the jury like it was okay to be prejudicial for as long as it was R. Kelly on the receiving end of things. There is no doubt this trial process was designed to disadvantage the R&B King right from the beginning. The government together with the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons seemed to act as a single unit in cooperation against the R&B King. They technically teamed up to ruin his 30-year career like it was their primary mandate to destroy an individual's life. It's still unclear who oiled the system to cause these three organs to come together purposefully to destroy R. Kelly. Whether it was Sony or whoever was behind this, for these three organs of government to team up in a witness tampering conspiracy, they must have been well organized and influenced to go beyond the limit. Even if they have successfully delayed this appeal process now 4 times, asking for extensions beyond the acceptable number, even if the anti-corruption unit has continued to ignore these unlawful moves to delay R. Kelly's opportunity to receive justice, and even if there seems to be a strong alliance between the government prosecution, the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice, there is no other way around this. Eventually, the time is coming when these issues will be argued out, and it's going to be hard for the corruption tendency to prevail in the presence of experienced attorney Jennifer Bonjean, who has the necessary tools to dislodge the wrongful convictions and negotiate R. Kelly's return to freedom. According to Bob Hudson, I am not shocked to learn that the government is seeking yet another extension of the appeal process, considering they are already defeated even before they get started. I am not sure what kind of defense can convince the appeal judges to condone such acts of witness tampering as the government was engaged in. I saw this coming, for they just cannot be ready for whatever is coming their way during this process. With so much explaining to do, delaying the process as much as possible is all the leverage they have. They are definitely not in a hurry to fail. Indeed, this is a sign of conceding defeat. According to Sunshine Carabo, this fight against R. Kelly is totally ridiculous. While sleeping with underage kids would be a crime, there isn't much evidence against R. Kelly to prove this. But when it comes to charges such as enticement, these women lured themselves to get something out of Kells, and when they failed to get a thing, they came up with some rather unfounded stories and BS accusations that are not supported by any real evidence. The judge basically ruled basing on their word of mouth and not real proven facts. And besides, some of the luring was done by their own parents, who strongly encouraged them to be with R. Kelly. It's really beyond me to see that Sony could stoop so low to support such lying actors on purpose to pass their own agenda. Why don't they tell it as it is and come out straight to say they will not be giving him his masters rather than tarnish his reputation to this extent? Sadly for them, R. Kelly remains a master in music. The one and only R&B king. According to Joyce Sanders, it is important for the world to know that R. Kelly doesn't need a retrial. What he deserves is an immediate acquittal, as he is totally innocent. I wonder for how long our country is going to continue allowing corrupt judges such as Brooklyn's Ann Donnelly to be locking up black people for no good reason, while they let the real criminals walk free on the streets. This BS case against R. Kelly has never been about those deceitful grown accusers. It has always been a targeted mission to lock up another successful African American threatening white supremacy in this country. So please free R. Kelly as soon as possible. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.